What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're having a fabulous day today. And we're going to be looking at Overlord Volume 2. As of the recording of this, it's going to be coming out in about a month. It's coming out at the beginning of September. So we are going to be going ahead and taking a look at this. I was going to initially record this with Joe Schmo, but just schedules didn't line up. So I'm like, to heck with it. Let's just take a look at it here. So yeah, we're going to try to go through the entire set. I haven't looked to see how many cards there are. It's a 100-card set, and I do know there's a bunch of cards in here, especially like there's a level 3 Ainz that's supposed to be like really good, supposed to be very, very prevalent in the upcoming meta, but I obviously am just looking for whatever seems fun. I have the Raven Black deck that I could upgrade and try to see what stuff in here could go towards that. So let's get started with the yellow cards first. We are going to be taking a look at the climaxes first. I wanted to see what all was in the climaxes so we know what we're working with. I ain't got to search for it later. The first one's Real Intent of Operation is a choice trigger. Cruel Unmasked Face is also a choice trigger. Very interesting. And End of Escape is a choice trigger. So we have 3 choice triggers right off the bat for that. It's very interesting. So all right, let's get started with Demiurge, Best Tactician of Nazarick. It's a 104k. During your turn, he gains 2k power. Climax combo, when this attacks, if Real Intent of the Operation is in the climax zone, and you have 2 or more other characters with either, it says heteromorphic, but I believe in English translation it's grotesque race. So grotesque or Nazarick. Choose one of the following 2 effects and perform it. So you either get to look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck and grab a grotesque or Nazarick from it and add it to your hand, or you get to choose a level 2 or higher character in your waiting room with grotesque or Nazarick and return it to your hand. Very interesting. So if you don't have a whole lot of cards in your waiting room, you could mill off the top of the deck and just grab any grotesque or Nazarick. I'm just gonna say Nazarick for the simplicity of traits. If I see both of these up there, it's a big kind of a mouthful, and it'll save me some time if I just say character with Nazarick. If it's something that doesn't have that, I will try to call that out. But I do like this right off the bat. However, it being very weak defensively is kind of a thing. We know that it's a choice trigger for the climax combo, so it'll be a 7k. You either get to, if you see you have like a level 2 or higher in your waiting room that you just want to go ahead and grab, like you just be like, oh, that's kind of cool. You kind of get the options there. I do like that. Despite it being weak defensively, the options of what you want to grab is very nice. Nabero Real Power is a 3285. Oh, this is good. Okay, so if you have 4 or more Nazarick characters minus a level in hand, for each character in your opponent's back row gains 1,000 power. So if your opponent has 2, that'll make her a 10-5. And a heal on play. Definitely probably going to have a price tag on it, being a double rare, very easy early play healer. So, very nice. Demiurge, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom, 0015. You have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick. This gains 2k power, so it's a 3-5. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, if this is in the front row center slot, you may move okay, so it has to be in the center slot, and you can move this to an empty slot in the front row. So it has to be in the middle, but then it can move left or right, doesn't matter. Like I know there's some that say, oh, this has to specifically move to one spot or the other type thing. So no, this just, you get to choose. It has to start in the middle. That's kind of cool. Forgive me. Lupus Regina, Interaction with Mankind. We have another climax combo. It's a 102k. You may play this card from your hand without meeting the color requirement. That is very interesting, but that's kind of cool. But you have to meet the color requirement for the climax anyway. Like, okay, to be fair, the second effect is during your turn, this gains 5,000 power. So if you really need a free 107k, you could just splash this in for that. It's probably not advisable, but the option's there. The climax combo is with a choice trigger, though, so we know you have to meet the yellow color requirement to play a choice trigger. So, okay. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if Cruel Unmasked Face is in your climax zone, and you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick or Carne Village, I will specify that is another one up there, you can discard 1 card from your hand, If you do, choose up to 2 characters with Nazarick or Carne Village and return them to your hand. If you don't pay the cost, choose up to 1 character in your waiting room with Nazarick and return it to your hand. Okay, so in case you don't want to discard, you can salvage back just 1 on reverse. So it's a typical on reverse salvage, but one, okay, I will say I like that you get to reverse first, then you get to pay the cost if you want to, instead of like on attack, pay a cost, and then if you reverse, you get to do the thing. So I like the order of it, despite how weak defensively this is going to be. So, but I will say with the choice trigger, it will get up to a 108k by itself before anything else. So it's probably gonna reverse. So just saying, good chances. Just it's dead the next turn. You basically always want to do the pitch 1 to salvage back 2, because you're gonna have to have something to replenish, your field. So Nabe, beautiful adventurer 1045. Just everything's fucking weak. Anyway, when your climax card is placed in your climax zone, this gains 1500 power for the turn. So unless you play a climax, it stays at 45. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if there's a climax, you can put the top card of your library into your stock. A little faux climax combo there. Yeah. Shaltir, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom, a 1/145. If all of your characters are Nazarick, this gains 1500 power and the ability, if the cost of the character opposite this is 0 or lower, this does not reverse. So it becomes a 1/16k. I'm seeing a fun standby target here that does not reverse against cost 0 or less. That is so cool. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may put the top card of your library under this as a marker. So it's optional. At the start of your main phase, if there's a marker under this and you are level 2 or higher, put this in your way. Oh, it's not optional. Interesting. Hold on. It's not. Okay. So this other effect is not optional. Interesting. Okay, so at the start of your main phase, I'm just rereading it. If there's a marker under this and you are 2 or higher, put this in the waiting room. Choose up to 1 Shaltir Despair Confrontation in your hand and put it in the slot this was on. It's probably worth it. It's probably a really good Shaltir. But if you just want it for the can't be reversed effect, you could just choose to never put a marker under it. But just be mindful, the moment that you do, it's a mandatory, the thing is getting sacked the next turn. I mean, it's a good card regardless. So Shaltir Despair Confrontation. I'm going to have to remember that. Well, it's the very next card. Okay. It summons a level 3. Okay. So 3/2 10k. When this is placed from hand to stage, heal 1. At the end of this card's attack, if end of the escape, which is the last choice trigger of the of yellow, is in your climax zone and either there is no character opposite this or the character opposite this is reversed, you can pay 1 stock. If so, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with Nazarick, choose one of your characters with Nazarick and this, swap them and stand this. Okay, so it's a very interesting condition. It's easy. I say it's easy, but there has to be either reversed opponent or nothing there, and then you have to top check, and then you pay 1 stock. But I mean, you attacked already, so the stock portion's irrelevant. And then you're gonna get it right back by standing it and swinging again. So very interesting. So a restander, which isn't the worst effect in the world. It's only on a rare too. I don't mind it. It's okay. Numbers, gaze toward intruders, 00500. When the battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed, choose one of your characters with Nazarick and it gains 500. Okay. And a brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 of them, put into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Okay. Shaltir, going over the operation, 001k. All of your other characters with Nazarick gain 500 power, just global 500, already good. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a climax to salvage back a Nazarick character. So, drop Salvager and global 500. Okay. It's uncommon, it ain't bad. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, it's been forever since I've watched Overlord, so forgive me if I don't remember what characters look like. I was like, oh yeah, Demiurge can transform. Well, it fucking took me off guard for a second there. Demiurge, Baptism of the Visitors, is a 001k. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your characters with Nazarick, and that character gains 1500 power for the turn, kind of sizable there. And on attack, choose one of your other characters with Nazarick and it gains 1500 power for the turn. So if you need to do one of your on reverse combos, this can give a total of 3k power to that character in one turn, which is really nice. So just kind of cool there. And that was number 10. So let's continue. I went ahead and pulled up a bunch preemptively. Gonna go ahead. Mammon. Basically went ahead and figured I'd go ahead and open up a whole bunch of them and then do the intro and everything. And then it's like already there. And that should be it for all the yellow. So finish this one up. Lupus Regina, Victory Without Breaking Sweat. 0015. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your opponent's characters. Until the next end of your opponent's turn, it cannot move to another slot. That's nice. On attack, choose one of your characters with Nazarick or Carne Village, and that character gains X power, which is 500 times the number of your other characters with Nazarick or Carne Village. I really haven't paid attention to the Carne Village typing, but it's kind of whatever. Demiurge, Completely Honest, 103k. On attack, if you have 2 or more other Nazaricks, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose one of them, put it on top of the library, put the rest into waiting room. And this is also a cost 0 or lower stock bomb. So pretty cool there. Let's see. Mammon, Requiring the Price. This is one of the okay, Jet Black, Raven Black. So this does have the Raven Black trait, so it could upgrade that deck. We're gonna see. It's a 2/1 3k backup. So 1 stock for a 3k backup. When you use the backup of this, put the bottom X cards of your opponent's deck into the waiting room. X is equal to the number of your characters with grotesque race or human race. So interesting. Okay, so they're including the human race trait. It is probably in Overlord 1. I just wasn't paying attention. Most everything I was looking at was like grotesque or Nazarick, basically, or for the Raven Black deck, it was like if the cards are blue or Raven Black. So it just kind of worked off of that. All right. Intoma, Report After Incident, is a 2/2/7k. For each other character in your back row with Grotesque or Nazarick, this gains 2k power. So it can become an 11. So very nice there. Very good standby target. Solution, Bewitching Battle Maid. 00500. When this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your deck into the waiting room. If they are all Nazarick characters, choose a level 3 or lower character in your opponent's back row. That character doesn't stand during your opponent's next stand phase, which could be very interesting to hit like either a brainstormer that they have, or if they're playing standby and they're like, oh, I'm gonna standby in this level 2 or this level 3 into the back row for next turn, and you go, nope, it ain't standing next turn. You gotta keep that bitch tapped. Then on attack, reveal the top card of your deck if it's a Nazarick or an event, put it into your hand, and then discard 1 card. Okay, pretty cool. Like, it's a very nice utility card, and it's only a common. So. Shaltir, Board Assault, 002k. On play, it gains a buff 1,000 times the number of your characters with Nazarick. So it counts herself, so it can become a 007k. Cool, okay. It's there. Sebas, Fist Swinging at Evil, is a 002k. All of your other Tuare New Life get 500 power and the following ability. If the cost of the character opposite this is 0 or lower, this does not reverse. So we got to look out for that Tuare, which can make her, this one specifically buffs. Could be very interesting. Hamsuke, Learning Martial Arts. It's a 002k. Okay, your typical like on play top check. If it's a Nazarick, put it under face up underneath. This is a marker, and while he has a marker, he's a 4k. Okay, here's the Tuare New Life. Okay, it's just a vanilla, but it says 1055 vanilla. That with the Sebas is going to be a 6k, and it can't be reversed by cost 0 or less. Actually, could be very interesting in terms of like a level 1 game. I know it's just like a common thing, but I just think that's kind of cool. Narbil, Sudden Apologies, 215k. If there's a climax card In your opponent's climax zone, the character opposite this gets -1 soul. Interesting. And on attack, she gains 1,000 times the number of your other Nazarick characters. So, full field, she can become a 2/19K. So, the minus soul thing's kind of cool, but it's also whatever. Encyclopedia as reward, a 1/0 yellow event. Put all cards from your hand into the waiting room. Draw X cards. Put the top card of your library in your clock. Choose one of your characters, and that character gains 1,000 power for the turn. X is equal to the number of the cards put into the waiting room via this effect +1. Did they just print card destruction from Yu-Gi-Oh! Onto a Overlord card? I don't know, that's just the first vibe that I'm getting. Honestly, it's better because card destruction doesn't count itself for the number of cards that you draw. It's just what you discard. But then you also take a damage off of this, which is kind of whatever. I mean, level 1, you don't really give a fuck. So I just thought that was cool. This is kind of like card destruction. You're like, oh, which I guess that could be very interesting in a standby deck. You're like, I have all of these targets in my hand, but no standbys to play them with. Let me just play this event, pitch like 5 cards from hand or something, and then you draw 6 after you take it, and then take a damage. Oh, look, I drew into a standby. Let's go ahead and summon shit. You know, I don't know. It would be kind of cool. That's it for the yellows. A lot of the yellow stuff seems to be very weak defensively, but very good offensively. It just seems to be the running theme with a lot of stuff. Oh, wait. Before we do this, we're going to look at the climaxes first. We're going to see if everything's a fucking gold bar. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I feel like if I say that, I'm going to get... Okay, hold on. I feel like if I say that, I'm going to get, like, put on a list. I don't know. I'm going to say Ia Shub, and I'm not saying the last part of that word because I'm white. It is a 1K1 gold bar, and we're going to get that off the screen. Messenger to the Empire is a 1K1 gold bar as well. Those Who Protect the King is also a gold bar. Huh. Interesting. Let's just... I'm like, I cannot say this word. That's funny. Oh, heaven. It's not funny if someone decides to pop your kneecaps, but, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up as many fucking green cards as possible. We need to skim through stuff. Holy shit. That was a yikes moment, everyone. Oh, God. Unlimited tab works. We have two. My computer's not going to like this. Let's get to it. Albedo, Throne of the Founding Declaration is a 0/1K. At the start of your encore step, if there's a climax card in the climax zone, you may draw a card. If so, discard 1 card. A little bit of hand filtering, which if you play a whole bunch of gold bars, you know, you'll have extras in hand anyway. And a Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each one. You get to salvage back a character. Pretty cool. Ora, Dark Elf Beastmaster is a 0/15. The turn this is placed from hand to stage gains 1,500 power. And when this is placed from stage, or was placed from stage to the waiting room, so on death, you can discard 1 card, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose a level 1 or higher card, put into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Pretty cool. Honestly, a pretty cool card, and it is a double rare, so that might have a neat little price tag to it. Mare, Timid Floor Guardian, a 3/2/9/5. We have a climax combo. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of the following 2 effects and perform it. Either heal 1, or your opponent chooses 1 climax card in their waiting room, returns all other cards from their waiting room to their library, and shuffles their library. You can make them decompress. I like the option being there of either decompression or heal, which is nice. When this attacks, if Messenger to the Empire is in the climax zone, you can pay 1, pitch 1, deal 2 damage to your opponent, and this gains 1,000 power for the turn. It seems very underwhelming for a level 3 climax combo, considering it's a double rare. But I mean, it's kind of solid. It's just kind of pay 1, pitch 1, burn 2. It's kind of tit for tat. So. Then we have Ainz, Sorcerer King. Okay, this is the big boy. This is the thing everyone's been fucking talking about. I believe this is it. We have a 3/2/9/5. I really hope they change that name of that climax on the way over here. When the first gold bar that we saw is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row and you have another Nazarick, put up to 1 card from the top of your clock into the waiting room and choose one of the following 3 effects and perform it. Dark Young, that's one of the events. Choose up to 5 Dark Young in your waiting room and put them face up under this as a marker in any order, or send all markers from under this to memory. Choose X of your opponent's characters, put them into the waiting room. X is equal to the number of cards sent to memory via this effect. Deal 1 damage to your opponent. This gains 2k power for the turn. This does a lot. Okay, I think we're going to jump. We're going to go ahead and look and see what Dark Young is. Okay, I clicked the correct one. So the card that combos with this is Dark Young, level 1, 1 cost, green event. If you don't have another character with Ainz in its name, you cannot play this from hand. It does have the effect you can have up to 5 copies of cards with the same name as this in your deck. You're just able to run 1 extra, which is kind of whatever. Choose up to 1 character in your waiting room with either with Nazarick and return it to your hand. Then you get to choose one of your characters and give it 1,000 power for the turn. If this is in memory, at the start of your encore step, if you have Ainz, Sorcerer King, you can pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And you can do this every single turn. So we're going to scoot you forward. So first off, when you play the climax, you get to heal 1. Just straight up. Then you get to pick up... so your one to summon is... I guess you don't have to summon a whole bunch of these. You can just summon 1 of these. Okay. But okay, the main thing of this, you can put 5 markers underneath this, and then the next turn you play this again, you're healing again, and you can nuke your opponent's whole field. I mean, honestly, as long as you do, like, just 3 markers, you just at least clear their center stage and don't give a shit. But then the event is live, because the markers... you send the markers from under this to your memory. So, and that's a little bit of compression, which could be a thing. And then you have to pay 1, pitch 1 for each one of these that you want to do this to. But by like level 3 or something, pay the cost and go burn 1, burn 1, burn 1, burn 1, as many times, up to 5 times is very interesting. If you're able to do it, that's actually kind of cool. I want to keep this one up though, and I'm going to keep this up to the side in case any other cards come up that could combo with it. Because I think there's a card that lets you early play it. Don't hold me to that. Next is Mare, Throne of the Founding Declaration. It's a 0/500. All of your other characters with Nazarick gain 500 power. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax card, you can discard a climax card to look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose one of them, add it to your hand, put the rest into waiting room. Gold bar things doing gold bar things. Demiurge Policy Meeting is a 0/2k. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can put the top 3 cards of your deck into the waiting room, which I feel is going to be a little bit more of a viable thing because you want those events in your waiting room for the level 3 Ainz. So it's like, oh, let's just mill a whole bunch extra type thing. Also on play, pay 1, pitch a climax to salvage back a climax. So your typical climax swapper, it serves dual purposes. So kind of cool there. Albedo, Happy Words, is a 1/4k. When this is placed from hand to stage, all players perform the following action. If there are 5 or more cards in your memory, choose 4 cards in your memory, put all cards in your memory other than those chosen this way in the waiting room. So like people could probably strategically only put 4, and then they're never hit by this type of effect. I don't know. When your other Nazarick attacks, this gains 2k power for the turn. Okay, so if she attacks the last... she'll be a 1/8k. Ainz, Reciprocate Gift from Goddess of the Bountiful Harvest, is a 1/135. Dark Young in your hand gets -1 cost. Okay. This is probably the other card that combos with it. First off, it makes it so you can play that event for free. And then salvage back whatever the fuck you need. Interesting. Okay. Ooh. All of your characters with Nazarick gain 500 power times their level. When the first gold bar climax that we mentioned before is in your climax zone, choose one of your Ainz Sorcerer Kings. That character gets 45 power for the turn, and the following 2 abilities until the next end of your opponent's turn. During your opponent's turn, this cannot be chosen by your opponent's effects as target. During your opponent's turn, the battle opponent of this as well as this does not reverse. He gains hexproof, and neither of them can reverse. That's interesting. This is just all levels of... Oh, God. Okay, we're leaving that one on the field, too. Aura, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom is a 2/1, 65. On play, gains 3k for the turn. When Messenger to the Empire is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row, you can pay 1, pitch 1 to summon the Mare Timid Floor Guardian, the level 3, from your hand and put it on any slot of the stage. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if there's a climax in your climax zone, you can put the top card of your library into stock. So it can summon Mare, pretty cool. Not bad. Just, there you go. Ainz, Unexpected Effect is a 0/500. If you are level 2 or higher, this gains the following ability. A act ability, pay 1, pitch 1, sack this, to summon the Ainz Sorcerer King from your hand to the slot that this was on. Okay. And then it also has at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1, put the top card of your library in your clock, return this to hand. If you do, choose one of your other characters with Nazarick and return it to your hand. Okay. So you pay 1, deal yourself a damage to bounce to... you basically attack with this and something else, and then you can bounce it and something else back to keep cards in hand at the start of your opponent's attack phase. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so once again, combos with the Ainz, we're just going to leave it there. Mare, A Moment of Rest, is a 0/1k. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your opponent's characters, send it to memory, and your opponent puts that character from the memory to any slot of their stage. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your other Nazaricks that gains 2k power for the turn. Very interesting. Okay. So, Albedo, Blade Swung at Rebels, 0/2k. During your turn, this gains 1,000 power, so it's a 3k. This ability does not activate during the first turn of the player going first. Interesting. I guess it's kind of... Sorry, just reading your head. When this attacks, if those who protect the king is in your climax zone, you have another character with Nazarick, and there are 6 or fewer cards in your hand. Choose up to 1 level 0 or lower character in your waiting room with Nazarick, put it on an empty slot on the stage, and you cannot perform a 4th or subsequent attack for the turn. So, I mean, you basically just want to summon something to the back row, like a Brainstormer or something along those lines. Interesting. It's like, we are really... It's funny that this has, like, the clause of, like, you know, extra attacks and whatnot, but Ayame did not. Albedo, Can't Contain That Smile, 1/2k. All of your other Albedo Lavish Love gain 1,000 power, a 500 assist in front. And when this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card to search your deck for an Albedo Lavish Love and add it to your hand. Okay. Ainz, Selfish Ruler, 1/25. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your characters with Nazarick, and it gains 1,500 power for the turn. And this is a on reverse level 0 or lower clock swap. Pretty cool. I feel like I'm able to blaze through these a little bit faster, but I'm still way behind what I wanted it to be for this. Yuri, Vice Leader of Pleiades. 2/4k. If you have 4 or more other characters with Nazarick, this gains 6k. Okay, so at least with the full field, she stays big. Okay. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick, you may draw 2 cards, and if you do, discard 2. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have 4 or more, if you have a full field of Nazarick, you can choose a character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. So it pays for itself. Okay. Just a lot of text. Fucking hell. Ainz, Fiercely Dodging the Question. I would too. 0/15. On play, send 2 characters back from waiting room to deck, and if you do, this can side attack without soul penalty. On attack, choose one of your characters with Nazarick, and it gains 15 power for the turn. Mare, cheering at his master, 004k. Can't play events or backup from hand, your typical oversized level 0. Mare, terrain control, 1025. If you have another Aura entrance call, this gains 4k power. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax card, choose one of your characters and that character gains 2k power for the turn. So if you have the Aura, this becomes a 1065 and can give further buffs to itself or someone else. So that's kind of cool. Aura, can't agree with it. 105k. At the start of your climax phase, you can discard a Shawl tier Cruel Tracker. If so, this gains 1500 power and the following 2 abilities for the turn. It gains Twin Drive. On attack, pay 1 trigger check twice. And when the battle opponent this becomes reversed, you can choose a character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So on reverse salvage, just for free. Kind of cool. Okay, this is the entrance call one that comboed with the other Mare. Is a 1145. Level assist in front, so it would give an extra 500 to that to the Mare, making it a 107k. When the battle opponent of your other Mare terrain control becomes reversed, you can pay 1 and rest this standing card, and if you do, salvage back a character from your way. Pretty cool. Cocytus, realizing too late. It's a 215k. If you have another level 3 or higher character, this gains 4k. And if you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick, this gains 3k as well. Okay, so as long as you have the 2k, it's a 218k constantly. And it's a 2112k if you have another level 3 or higher character. Especially if that level 3 is like a back row assist or something, could be even bigger. So that becomes a minimum of a 12. That's kind of cool. Aura, calling for the Emperor. It's a 216k. During your turn, if this is in the front row center slot, this gains 7,000 power and plus 2 soul. So it becomes a 13 with 3 soul. Okay, kind of cool. War Bicorn Lord is a level 2 0 cost green event. Choose one of your characters and put it into your stock. If so, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character that shares at least 1 trait with the character put in your stock via this effect, put the revealed card in any slot on the stage. I mean, most of the deck is gonna be Grotesque Race and Nazarick, or, you know, say for Raven Black doesn't run any green cards, but all the other stuff we've mentioned already is basically all the same trait. It just has to share at least 1 trait. It doesn't have to be both. So you give yourself a stock and then potentially just summon whatever. So you definitely want to play any cards that let you like top check first and go, okay, cool, I see that's like a level 3. Let me now play this event to gain a stock and summon a level 3 for free, basically. Now, this does have the result of you end up sacking a character. It's kind of whatever, so. Alright, so we have a very interesting combination here for green in between these 3 cards. So I'm going to leave those up there, and we're going to continue on with the red, because we've already been going at this for 30 minutes, so. That is, like, that's some crazy stuff. Like I said, prior to this, I haven't looked at the cards. I've just known that there was the Ainz that did some shenanigans, and that's really all I've looked into. I haven't even looked into it. It's just a matter of, oh, I didn't even look at the climax. So 62, let's see. Climaxes first are... Uncontrollable Emotions is a standby, so already off to a good start. Shameful Punishment is a 1k1 salvage, okay. And Ainz Ulgaun Sorcerer Kingdom is another standby. Hell yeah. It was 62 was the last one. Whole bunch of Ainz right there. We got more events. There's at least 1 event in every color so far. This is like a whole bunch. Fucking hell. So, Ainz thinks of his subordinates. It's a 00500. When this is placed from hand to stage, pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck for a Nazarick. When this becomes reversed in battle, if all of your characters are Nazarick, you can put the top card of your library into your clock. If so, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, search for 1 card that is either a level 1 or lower character or an event, and put it into your hand. So, interesting that it's like only level 1 or lowers for that. It's whatever. It's still a good card. It's just like kind of weird there. Shaltir, pretty vampire, and she is. She's very nice. 104k. During your turn, this gains 2k power, making her a 6k. This is the one that combos with the salvage trigger. At the end of this card's attack, if Shameful Punishment is in your climax zone, you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick, and either there is no character opposite this or the character is reversed. Choose up to 1 character in your waiting room with Nazarick, return it to your hand, and you may send this to memory. If you send this to memory this way, at the start of your next draw phase, you can summon this back to any slot on the stage. Very cool to be able to bounce out. Considering it's weak defensively, it's nice to be able to do that and just go, cool, I'm just going to keep bouncing in and out. So I like that more in that regard, the fact that it saves itself. That's kind of cool. Albedo, Love for Her Master. It's a 3/2 10k. When this is placed from hand to the stage, or the auto ability of Albedo, meaning behind the operation to the stage, you can heal 1. And when this attacks, if Uncontrollable Emotions, which was the first standby trigger, is in your climax zone and you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick, deal 1 damage to your opponent, and until the next end of your opponent's turn, you don't take damage from auto effects of your opponent's characters during your opponent's climax phase or during battles involving this. So if it were to burn during the climax phase, now if like say you have other characters on the field other than her, if they attack those characters, those auto effects would work. But this is specifying basically damage from auto effects during the climax phase and damage from auto effects during battles involving her, this Albedo here specifically. So you got to be mindful of that, but I mean, if you try field it, it doesn't fucking matter. So kind of crazy there. Ainz, Bringer of Death. This looks like the same art from... This looks like a reprint. I could be wrong. I swear there's a card that looks exactly like this in Volume 1. I'm probably crazy, but whatever. At the start of your climax phase, choose a character with Nazarick, it gets 1,000 power, and you can also rest this to choose a character in your opponent's front row, and it gets 1,000 power for the turn. There's a green card that looks exactly like this. Albedo, second in command, 002k, gains 1,000 power during your turn, and it has the clean cut effect. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other characters with Nazarick, rest it, and move it to an empty slot in the back row. Okay. Sebas, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom, 104k. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have another character with Nazarick, it gets 2k power. During the turn this is placed from stage to hand, on attack, pay 1, pitch 2, search your deck for up to 2 characters with Nazarick, reveal it, put into your hand, shuffle your deck. That could just be the turn that it's played. It's on a rare. This could come in handy. I kind of like this. It doesn't have to reverse. It's just on attack. You can side with this and still do the effect if you need the cards to set up at a particular thing. It doesn't specify that you have to only discard a certain trait. It's any 2 cards. Oh, okay. That is actually kind of cool. Albedo, Summoning Mount, 1045. When this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your deck into the waiting room. This gains 1,000 times the number of Nazarick milled. During the turn this is placed from hand to stage. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can pay 1 stock, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Your opponent chooses a character or an event amongst those, puts into your hand, then put the rest into your waiting room. Ainz, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom, a 1155. If you have 2 or more other characters with Nazarick, this gains 2k power. And climax combo with the other standby of the set. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if you have the standby, you may choose a character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So a good standby target in general because of his stats and his effect to become a 1175. And then a on reverse salvage just on top of everything else with the climax combo. Or with playing the climax. Shaltir, Surprising Truth, 3/2, 3k. All of your characters in front of this gain 2k power. When this is placed from hand to stage, discard a card. If so, put the top card of your clock in your stock. At the start of your climax phase, you may pay 3 and discard 2 cards. If so, deal 5 damage to your opponent. Very, very interesting, very fun effect like that. And you can just like stand by this in like level 2 or something, and then the next turns you can just like burn your opponent like crazy. Shaltir, Praise for the Dictator, is a 0/500. At the start of your climax phase, if you have another character with Shaltir in name, look at the top card of your deck and either put it on top of your deck or in the waiting room. And a brainstorm of pay 1, tap 2, mill 5. For each climax, search your deck for up to 1 character with Nazarick and put it into your... Okay. So, really good. Just and it's a mill 5, and it doesn't specify like salvage triggers or anything specific. I don't see any weird symbols in the text, so I'm assuming it's just a typical like mill 5. Like, that's kind of cool. Albedo pretending to be newlywed wife. She's not pretending. She fucking wants that shit. So 0/15. If this is in the back row and you have another Albedo Sweet Disgrace in the back row, Ainz Transcendental in your hand gets -1 level. Also, this is a brainstorm of pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax, salvage back a character. We've already seen like 2 or 3 other brainstormers, so interesting. So, Albedo Sweet Disgrace and Ainz Transcendental. I'm going to leave this one up just in case we need to go back to it. We have a 2/4K. Oh, this also combos with Uncontrollable Emotions. Interesting. Okay, so all of your characters in front of this gain 1500 power. And when Uncontrollable Emotions is placed in your climax zone, if you are level 2 or higher, you can pay 1, pitch 1, and sack this specific Albedo. If so, choose up to 1 Albedo Love for Her Master in your waiting room and put it in the slot this was on. Choose up to 1 Rampaging Feelings in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So this gets to summon a specific Albedo, I'm assuming it's the level 3, and a Rampaging Feelings, which is probably one of the events. So he's like, I'm just going to be like casual like this. Ainz, Treat for the Intruder. It's a 2/6K. For each of your other Nazarick characters gains 1000, and it has character encore. So full field, he's a 10k with character encore. Ainz, Policy Meeting is a 0/2K. When this is placed from hand to stage, mill 2, if there's a climax, this gains a 1k and 1 soul for the turn. On play, if you have another Nazarick, this also gains an extra 2k for the turn. So if all that goes off, he becomes a 5k with 2 soul at level 0. Interesting. Ainz, Tireless Working Hard is a 0/25. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost. If so, choose a Horn of the Goblin General in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Which the cost is discarding a card if I didn't already say that. Sorry, I was just trying to... Horn of the Goblin General. Okay, so, yeah, we got more events. Shaltir, Cruel Tracker. This was one of the cards you had to discard for a cost, so you just had to discard a vanilla. Or it was another card effect earlier. Ainz, Bustling Spa. He's just like, oh no. They'll see my boner. Ha. 1/45. During your opponent's turn, this gains 1000 power. On attack, choose a Nazarick. It gets 500 times your other Nazarick. Shimakaze Kai effect, basically. Sebas, Standing in the Way. It's a 1/135. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your opponent's characters. It gets the can't move to another slot effect. And when this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may send that character to memory. So, able to make it so stuff can't move, and is a anti-change memory kick. So, pretty good, actually. Shaltir, Loose Mouth during the audience is a 2/17K. On attack, if the opponent's level 3 or higher, gains 6K. When your other character with Nazarick is frontaled, you can sack this to give that character 3k power for the turn. Kind of makes me think of Haguro from Kantai. Rampaging Feelings. This is the other event. Or this is the event the Albedo one was talking about. It's a 2/2. It's a level 2 cost backup red event. If you don't have an Albedo Love for Her Master, you cannot play this from your hand. If you're level 2, choose one of your characters with heteromorph... Oh, so if you... Oh, I was going to say, then you don't get this effect if you play it at level 3, but I see there's an effect for level 3 as well. Are they the exact same? It's the exact same effect. Oh. Hold on. If you're level 2, choose a Nazarick. It gains 1500 power. And the character opposite this gets -3 soul. If you are level 3, you can pay 1 stock. Choose one of your... It still gives the -3 soul, but one of them is... At level 2, you don't have to pay a cost. But at level 3, you do have to pay a cost on top of already paying 2 stock for this. That's just kind of wonky, but I can see this being, like... You also have to have a specific albedo on field. I'm just going to leave this one. And then True Death is a level 3, 1 cost red event. If you don't have a character with Nazarick, you can't play this from hand. Choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters and send it to their waiting room. Just get that shit off the field. So, we didn't see the Ainz Transcendental or the Sweet Disgrace. I don't think. If I overlooked it, I'm sorry. And that is going to be it for red. I'm going to take a quick look. So maybe Ainz Transcendental and all that was up higher. Higher, oh higher. Carrying our soul. I don't see it. I'm just trying to look for the Transcendental. Is that a card from the first set? Maybe it is. Maybe and Love for Her Master was the level 3 right here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get into blue. We don't need this anymore, and this is all the Ainz stuff. Okay, so Climax is first. Forgotten Emotions, the final memes, Rest of the Male Guardian. We do have several promos. I'll probably check those afterwards. Forgotten Emotions is a pants trigger, and it looks like it's going to be with the Evil Eye person, so that could be more Raven Black stuff for me. So, typical pants trigger. The final means is also a 1k1 pants trigger. For anyone who doesn't know what the fuck pants are, it is the on trigger, you can grab back a climax. And Rest of the Male Guardian, a 1k1 book trigger, which is on trigger, you get to draw a card. Alrighty, let's get to blue. I say the effects just in case there's someone listening in for the first time that's like, I don't know what the book trigger is, you know, or I don't know. It's very common. Like, we've had people hop into the Discord before and ask, you know, what particular effects were what, because English wasn't their first language, but they were needing to learn it so they could play the game. You know, they were trying to learn as many English terminology things as possible, and I do highly respect that. Especially since I'm not willing to, like, play the JP side of cards because I don't want to have to, like, learn all the translations and stuff. Horn of the Goblin General, that was a previous... that was a card name on another card effect, so just saying for my own double-checking later. But no, we do welcome anyone and everyone to the Discord. Please feel free to ask any questions that you... Kakitis, 4-armed warrior. It's a 0/0/15. If all of your characters are Nazarick, it gains 1,000 during your turn. If you have another Nazarick, it gains 15, making it a 4k during your turn and a 25 during your opponent's. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this in front of a character. You can move this to an empty slot that has an opponent's character opposite this, so it gets to run in front. Akatis, Founding of the Sorcerer Kingdom, 0/0/500. On play, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. That could be very useful for the event we were talking about before. You see what the top 2 cards are, and you're like, oh, I see, there's this level 3. Let me put that one back on top, and now let me play that level 2 green event. Because you could just sack this as well for it. When this attacks, choose one of your characters with Nazarick. It gains 1,000 power and a character encore until the next end of your opponent's turn. That's kind of cool. Evil Eye, small spellcaster. Is a 0/0/15. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax card with a gate trigger icon, if there's a climax card in your climax zone, you can discard a card. If you do, you get to salvage back a character, and it has a brainstorm of pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax, salvage back a character from your waiting room. I've seen that exact same effect on like 3 different, there's like 3 brainstormers that all have the same fucking effect. Okay. Renner, Kind Look is a 2/1/6K. Let's see. All of your level 3 or higher characters in front of this gain 2k power, and at the start of your climax phase, you may pay 1, pitch 1. If so, this gains the following ability for the turn. If you don't have another Renner Kind Look after you perform the climax combo of Blue Rose Evil Eye, you may choose up to 1 of the effect that wasn't chosen and perform it. Ooh, the level... hold on. I'm just checking. Blue Rose Evil Eye isn't the one here. It's the one from the first set. And that one has 2 effects? Ah, okay. Interesting. So the Blue Rose Evil Eye was a level 3 with the climax combo. It had 2 different effects. Okay. And then it has a act ability. Rest this. If there are 5 or fewer cards in your opponent's waiting room, your opponent puts the top 5 cards of their deck into the waiting room just for free. Interesting there. I do like this. This could upgrade that deck. That's kind of cool. Inri, Decision as the leader, 3/2/6K. All of your other Carne Village characters gain 2k. So this is one of those that doesn't have Grotesque Race, doesn't have Nazarick. It has Human and Carne Village. So it's a global 2k to Carne Village. I'm assuming that's going to be all in blue anyway. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a Carne Village character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. When the final means is placed in your climax zone, if you have 2 or more other Carne Village characters, you may pay the cost. If so, which is pay 2 and pitch 1, deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the number of your other goblin bodyguards in the front row. Do we have a Relentless Rats on our hands with goblin bodyguards? I'm gonna be checking that out. So we might have a future Let 'em cook in the works here. Evil Eye, Relucting Farewell. It's a 3/2. If there are 2 or fewer climaxes, minus a level in hand. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card to heal the top card of your clock to your stock. Pretty cool there. Considering I didn't have many other healers in the Raven Black deck, or the Blue Rose Raven Black deck. Okay. Inri, Taking the Hand and Moving Forward. Another Carne Village effect. A trait character. 0/0/15. During your turn, if there are 5 or more cards in your hand, all of your characters get 500 power, and a brainstorm. Once again, pay 1, tap self, mill 4 for every climax, salvage back a character. This is on 4 or 5 different fucking climaxes. What the? Choose a different brainstorm effect, please. Evil Eye, Uneasy Battle, 1/0/45. Okay, so this is one of the other pants trigger. During your turn, if you have another character that is either blue or Raven Black, this gains 1500 power, making her a 6k, and she combos with a pants. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if Forgotten Emotions is in your climax zone and you have 2 or more other characters that are either blue color or Raven Black, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose one of them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Okay, so it does have to reverse, but it gets up to 7k before buffs, so pretty cool there. I don't know if I would change that out for the Mammon that I have in there, but we can test it out and find out. Cocytus, Words of Appreciation, is a level 1 cost 2k backup, and when you use the backup, mill the top 3. Jugum, Feelings for the Villagers, it's subordinate and Carne Village. It's a 2/1/15. If you have 2 or more other Carne Village characters, this gains 8k power. Hold the fuck, so it just becomes a 9k. Hold up. When this is placed from hand to stage, this gains the following 2 abilities until the next end of your opponent's turn. During your opponent's turn, this gains 2k power and it gains Bodyguard. Okay, for those who don't know what Bodyguard is, if it's in the front row, middle center, it makes it so all of your opponent's characters have to frontal attack it as long as it is not reversed. So back to the math. It becomes a 95. It gains an extra 2k. It becomes an 11/5 before any other buffs, and we already saw that there were other buffs too. Yeah, we're going to see if we can make Carne Village. That's going to be cool. On a level 2, typically you don't see bodyguard on anything but like level 3s. So that's interesting. Goblin Bodyguard is a 3285. Okay, so this is subordinate in Carne Village. What the fuck? You can have up to 13 copies of the cards with the same name as this into your deck. I've never seen a fucking level 3 be the Relentless Rats. I'm used to seeing level 0s, level 1s be the Relentless Rats, not a fucking level 3. Okay, you got me. I'm interested. When this is placed from hand to stage, or the effect of Horn of the Goblin General. I can hear Goblin Slayer from here. You may put the top card of your clock in the waiting room so it does heal. When this attacks, pay 1, pitch 1 if you have an Enry decision as the leader, and if you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Okay. That and the Enry also burns as well, from what I remember. So, 13 copies. I gotta see what we're gonna go ahead and look at the fucking Horn of the Goblin General. It's a level 1 cost event. It said it could. This said if it's summoned by it. So this is gonna have a summoning effect. If you don't have a character with Enry and name, you cannot play this from your hand, and it goes to memory. So you gotta do that. Okay. If there is 1 Horn of the Goblin General in your memory, you can discard a card. If you do, choose up to a combination of 3, either Goblin Musician Corps or Goblin Heavy Infantry, and put them in your waiting room and put them in separate slots of the stage. If you are level 3 and there are 2 Horn of the Goblin General in your memory, pay 2, pitch 2 to summon up to 3 Goblin Bodyguard in your waiting room and put them on separate slots of the stage. Okay, so you pay 2 and you pitch 2. Holy fuck, okay. That, and you can also discard 2 copies of the Goblin Bodyguard, and then just summon 3 of them and then heal 3. Okay. Okay, I am picking up what you're putting down. Okay. Let's continue. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that. Jerkniv? Yerkniv. I don't know. Bloody Emperor. 3295. It does not have Carne Village. It's Human Race and Emperor. If this is in the front row, all of your characters that are blue or Raven Black gain 1500 power. He works with the Raven Black stuff. Okay. When this is placed from your hand to stage, you can pitch 2, choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room, return them to their deck, and your opponent shuffles their deck. Okay, cool. Renner, Conversation with Family. It's a 005, 500. I was about to say 5k. Human Race Royalty. At the start of your main phase, it has an alarm effect. If it's the top card of your clock at the start of your main phase, you can draw a card and then discard one. And it also has, if it's the top card of your clock and you have 3 or more characters that are Nazarick or with Climb in the name, choose one of your characters and it gains 2k power for the turn at the start of your climax phase. Interesting. So I don't. Climb, here we go. Pure White Armor. It's a 0015. This is just Human Race. During your turn, if Renner Conversation with Family is in your clock, this gains 4k power. So if you purposely clock that Renner and you get to do all the shenanigans, it also bonds with it, so that's kind of cool. He'll be a 55 big boy. Interesting. Goblin Musician Corps. We're making goblins. And see, this is a Relentless Rats. You may have as many copies of cards with the same name as this in your deck. It's a 002k, sorry. When this becomes reversed in battle, you may reveal up to 3 cards from the top from top of your deck. If you reveal at least 1 card this way, choose at least 1 Carne Village character, which this has Carne Village. Put into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room, and then discard a card. Okay. It just lets you get the hand filtering. Basically trying to get to the other girl that does a lot of the shenanigans. Enry, this girl. Enry, Town Visit Alone, 102k. Ooh. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost, which is pay 1 and send a Horn of the Goblin General from your hand to your memory. And then if you do, choose up to 1 Jugum Feelings for the villagers in your hand and put it on any slot of the stage. And when this becomes reversed, if the cost of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you can put that character on the bottom of the... Okay, cool. So we have another very fun army deck coming up here. So as long as you can do this to go ahead and get that into, and you get to summon Jugum feelings for the villagers. Okay. Nefaria? I can't pronounce it. Chance for Appeal is also Carne Village, 1015. It has 3 act abilities. So pay 2, rest this, put the top card of your clock in the waiting room, heal. Tap this. If there's no marker, put a Carne Village from waiting room face down underneath this as a marker, and you can rest this to put a marker under this in your stock. Okay. Goblin Heavy Infantry Corps, which was also part of the Warhorn effects. A 1/02K. Relentless Rats. You can have as many copies of this with the same name in your deck. If you have 2 or more other Carne Village characters, this gains 4k power. I actually like this a lot more because a lot of the Relentless Rats effects are like, oh, you have to have it gains a buff for every one of your other copies of it on field or whatever. This is like, nah, fuck that. We're just gonna, if you got 2 or more other Carne Village characters, it could be your fucking back row Brainstormer for all we care. And it just becomes a 106k for free. And it does have a crit trigger symbol. We're just going to throw that out. I'm getting excited. Gazef, Determination of the Warrior Captain. It does not have Carne Village. 104k. It's just human race. Okay, on play, it gives buffs. This gains 500 power times the number of your other blue or raven black. On attack, choose one of your characters that's blue or raven black, and it gains 1500 power. So it can give it all to itself, which is kind of cool. So, I'm not going to do math. Fuck it. Cocytus Noisy Rest, 216k. For each of your other characters with Nazarick, this gains 1000 power, so it can become a 10k. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can sack the Book Trigger Climax. If you do, look up to 4 cards on the top of your deck, search for up to 4 characters with Nazarick, put them into your hand, put the rest into a waiting room. I like this as a fucking Climax combo of just, oh, let me sack the Climax, and now look at the top 4 cards in my deck. Oh, they're all Nazarick. I just drew 4 fucking cards. Like, that's cool. I like this. You can only do the effect once, but it's, you're adding fucking 4 cards to hand. They can't have as good of effects as the Eatski is. Brian, or Brain, Promise Under the Moon, 217k. If the battle opponent's level 3 or higher on attack, this gains 6k. And it has a reduced encore, basically. If you have no other rested characters in your front row, you can pay 1 stock to rest him. Save him. Let me remind myself what Jugum was. That was, okay, it was the guy with Bodyguard. That was the one that the other, one of the other cards could summon. Okay, cool. So the Bodyguard thing is definitely going to be big. Oh, okay, so you could just have that, like, have him be in the middle, and then the other infantry ones or whatever can be on the field, can just like be on the field, and doing attacks and stuff, and they just, your opponent's just going to ram into this because he's going to be so fucking huge. Yeah, we're going to have some fun with this shit. Okay. Then we have the promos. I realize we're already running up to an hour right now, so I'm just going to run these over really fucking quick. I'm going to be having fun with blue. That's what it seems to be the case for this. So definitely go ahead and expect that to be a future deck profile. The first promo, Demiurge in Agreement, 0025, anti-runner. Your opponent, the opponent across from this cannot move to another slot. That's cool. Shaltir Start Tracking is a 3/2/10k. It can be early played if you have 2 or fewer climaxes in waiting room, and on play, draw a card. It gains 2k power for the turn. Okay, cool. Mare, Reading Time, 003k. It can't side. On play, mill 2. This gains 1,000 times your Nazarick's mill. Okay. Aura, Full of Self-Confidence, a 2/1, 2,500 backup. When you use the backup of this, you may pay the cost. Ooh, okay, so we have a money counter promo. This is probably going to have a price tag. Pay 4 stock, discard a character with Nazarick, choose one of your opponent's characters, and rest it. So here, just, let's pay a whole bunch of stock to make it so you can't do damage. That's nice. Cocytus, Guardian of the 5th Floor, is a 2/2/65. For each of your other characters with Nazarick, this gains 1,000 power. I kind of want to make a Cocytus deck as well. That would be fun. When this direct attacks, you can choose a character in your waiting room with Nazarick and put it into your stock. Actually, this feels like a reprint. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think there's another card from the first set that does this exactly. Why was this a promo? I don't know. Whatever. Albedo Infinite Sacrifice. 3/2 10k. On play, you can heal 1. And when this direct... Oh, whoa, no. When this direct attacks, you can pay 1, pitch 1 to deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's the same thing as the level 3 from the trial deck. It might not have the heal 1, but it has the direct attack effect. I think this is the exact same one as the level 3 Albedo from the trial deck, which shot the fuck up in price. So I wonder if this will bring that back down. So, and then Ainz, I think that, I don't know if that's like supposed to be spelled that way, but time stop. 2/1 500. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose a level 3 or lower character in your opponent's back row. It can't stand during the next stand phase. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is 2 or lower, you may reverse that. And that is it for this. I kind of, like I said, it would be kind of cool to make a Cocytus deck, since it has like, he has like several climax combos. Sorry, I had to stretch. Yeah. This is gonna be fun. But then there's other people who are like, this is gonna be fun instead. The Ainz level 3. We're definitely going to see this thing. I don't know the extent of the deck and the full combo for everything, but I'm seeing how this can be very much be a big nuisance, especially when comboed with stuff like this motherfucker. And making it so, you know, every single copy, or you get to, not every single copy, but you get to pick one of those Ainz, and it can't be targeted by effects. It can't be reversed. And to my knowledge, even if you somehow got this off the field, it gives the abilities to the level 3, so it's not like getting rid of the level 1 is going to make this vulnerable again. To my knowledge, it would. So I'm going to assume that's the case. This is also a level assist. So, I mean, this doesn't gain any power on your opponent's turn. So this would, it can't become reversed anyway, but it does become an 11k from the level assist. And then if you do the climax combo and everything, it gains an extra 45. So it becomes a 15-5 before any other abilities. It makes it so you can cast the Dark Youngs for free, basically. Which is just kind of crazy. So it's a lot of shit going on. So I can see where, and this also lets you summon the level 3 items. At level 2 or higher, so you can go ahead and get this in the back row. You can early play this at level 2 and everything, and go ahead and start getting that rolling for a fairly decently cheap cost, in my mind. It seems like you would put a bunch of characters onto the, kind of just blarged onto the field, but your opponent can't do anything afterwards, so you can recover that very easily. And basically just keep dropping the climax combo every turn. Like, the ideal thing would be to have 2 of this level 1 in the back row, which would then make your other fucking whatever level 3 Ainz in the middle center is going to be getting plus 3k anyway. I'm just kind of like speculating damage and not damage, but like numbers and stuff. I haven't looked into the deck that is supposed to be like really oppressive and got hit. Like, a lot of the cards got hit on the ban list in JP recently, but I know it also included stuff from the first set. So I know there's probably going to be a very interesting mesh that I will definitely have to look into after I finish recording this. But I'm also going to go fuck around with the goblins, and we're going to make Goblin Slayer start screaming at the top of his lungs here. With that, let's just end it on this card right here. Yeah, this thing's going to be a son of a bitch. I see why people are like, yeah, watch out for Overlord Volume 2. I'm going to pose the question to you now. Would you prefer to deal with Ainz right here or Alice? Please type your comments down in the comment section. That will let me know that you listened to, this far in. But with that, thank y'all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Please like and subscribe if you want. If not, hey, thanks for stopping by. Do feel free to join us in our Discord. There will be a link in the description if you want to join. And we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now. Get ready for this bullshit.